Welcome to Parallel Universe. He made America laugh for over 2 decades with a physical comedy and a self-deprecating warmth that felt completely genuine because it was. Kevin James was never pretending to be the lovable everyman. He actually was one. And then, quietly and without the dramatic exit that Hollywood usually demands, he stepped back from the mainstream spotlight in ways that had his most devoted fans genuinely wondering. The truth about what happened to Kevin James is not the story most people assumed. And it is considerably more interesting. Kevin James was born Kevin George Nipfing on April 26, 1965, in Mineola, New York, and raised in Stony Brook. He came up through stand-up comedy, grinding through clubs and small venues before The King of Queens landed in 1998 and turned him into one of the most reliable comedy presences on American television. 9 seasons. 207 episodes. A character so consistently funny and so genuinely likable that audiences never once tired of him. Then came the film career. Hitch, Paul Blart Mall Cop, Grown Ups, Here Comes the Boom, movies that critics frequently dismissed and audiences consistently loved. Kevin James understood something about mainstream comedy that most critics never bothered to learn. People do not always want to be challenged. Sometimes they just want to laugh with someone who feels like their neighbor. And nobody in his generation did that more effectively than him, but somewhere around the mid-2010s the big studio comedies began drying up. The critical consensus hardened against the kind of broad physical comedy he specialized in. Hollywood moved toward edgier, more self-aware humor and left the Kevin James lane largely unoccupied. His name disappeared from the major multiplex releases. And the assumption that quietly formed in his absence was that the career had simply run its course. Here is what actually happened: Kevin James did not fade. He pivoted. He moved deliberately and successfully into the streaming world, producing and starring in projects for Netflix and other platforms that reached audiences far larger than his later theatrical releases ever had. His Netflix specials performed strongly. His series projects found loyal viewings. He rebuilt his professional presence entirely outside the traditional Hollywood studio system and did it with a shrewdness that his lovable everyman persona had always somewhat obscured. His personal life tells an equally grounded story. He has been married to actress Stacey Philippi since 2004 and they have 4 children together, a family he has spoken about with a consistency and a priority that has never wavered regardless of where his career was pointing at any given moment. He coaches his kids' sports teams. He shows up. He is, by every credible account, exactly the person his screen persona always suggested. Kevin James at 59 is working, thriving, and building a second chapter that the people who wrote him off never anticipated. What happened to him is not a cautionary tale. It is a quiet and genuine success story wearing comfortable shoes.